First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning to you and welcome into Fox 10 Midday on your Wednesday. It's January 28th. We're halfway through the week now. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. On this Wednesday, it is a very, very cold start.
Yes.
But we're seeing improvements, and we talked about this yesterday. There's improvements yesterday, there's improvements today.
Yeah.
Each and every day we're getting better until Friday. Friday's our warmest day, and then the bottom drops out.
Hey, we will take what we can get at this point.
Yes, so temperatures going up into the 40s right now. The live cameras have been showing a really lovely view here. So this is the live camera view from multiple locations here. One of the locations you see up in the top corner that's the Pass in Orange Beach, 48 degrees, 50 degrees in Mobile, 48 degrees in D'Iberville, Mississippi. I'll show you the full camera right now, and you can see here Daphne, this is Hampton Inn. Bayway traffic seems to be going okay. It's a pretty one out there with no major issues at this point. 5-hour planner does show temperatures getting up into the 50s. This is 2 p.m., 50 degrees here. Sunny skies for sure. Dolphin Island. Why does Dolphin Island not work now? I don't know why that camera has gone out recently. You can see a few high-level clouds here from downtown Mobile on Navigator Credit Union camera. This is at Battleship Memorial Park, looking towards the causeway. And you can see the causeway construction going on right there, but overall a clear picture. So your temperatures this afternoon get up into the 50s, 51 degrees at 2 p.m. Right now we're sitting mostly in the 40s. The new observations coming in 44 Atmore, 46 Mobile, 45 in Pensacola. This afternoon here we are in the 50s, 53 Navarre, 52 Destin, 53 in Crestview, 50 though Highway 84 corridor, Grove Hill and Mobile and Monroeville. But then tonight, it's back to the same thing that we had this morning, pretty much. 28 degrees in Mobile, 30 Pensacola, 25 for Atmore and Bruton, 25 for the Highway 84 corridor. So take your steps again to protect what you need to protect for the freezes, but this is the freeze that we've dealt with over and over again at this point. We're not going to see anything extreme till the weekend. And here's your 5-day outlook, kind of giving you a quick preview of what we're expecting in the days ahead. Notice parade, 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 parade. It's Mardi Gras season here. And we're starting Mardi Gras season extremely cold with the weekend forecast on Saturday with multiple parades happening downtown and the Senior Bowl happening at Hancock Whitney Stadium, 37 degrees. We're going to have wind chills in the 20s. So we have a lot to talk about in this forecast. A lot more details on that weekend forecast coming up in just a bit. Ashlyn.
All right, Nick, thank you. Happening right now, if you're looking for a new job or want to advance your current career, the Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce is hosting a key event, the 2026 Baldwin County Career and Job Fair. It is happening right now again in Daphne, and that's where we find my friend Stephen Moody this morning. And Stephen, it sounds like there's a great lineup of job opportunities.
Yeah, Ashlyn, good morning. We are here inside of the Daphne Civic Center where we were here last year, and I can tell you that the turnout has been amazing for this year's 2026 Baldwin County Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce Career and a Job Fair. Now, there are over 24 booths here, all willing, with people waiting to give out those jobs, and we've seen people ready with those resumes and dressed and ready for interviews. Now, this has been such a success for the chamber so far, and joining me live now with more on that is Christopher Lugo. First of all, thank you for joining us here. This has been a busy start to the year for you guys here at the chamber. Just how exciting is it just to be back here for another year at this fair?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the people are coming out. People are ready to work on the Eastern Shore in Baldwin County, and that's just exciting to see. The employers are happy, the people are happy, so that's all we try to do.
And as a director of workforce development, I mean, it is your job just to be able to advertise all of the jobs here that the Eastern Shore has to offer. So it must make you feel proud just to know that these people are taking advantage of all these opportunities.
That's all we try to do, is provide that opportunity. If people take that opportunity, then that's what I'm here for. I mean, I'm trying to give them the opportunity, and we'll see if they take it.
And we were just talking off camera about people coming to the Eastern Shore in droves. I just interviewed a man who moved here from Wisconsin, and he said that he's just excited just to get started here and go to work. Just that's something that you guys work really hard on, is making people feel acclimated to this area and getting those jobs.
Sure. And like I said earlier, Baldwin County is the 6th fastest growing county in the nation, and so it just shows that people want to work here, people want to live here, and people want to play here. I mean, it's a great place to live, great place to work, and we're just trying to show that off.
And there is something for everyone here. There are careers in every different types of fields here. Just a diverse group of jobs here.
Definitely. I mean, we have people from hospitality, additive manufacturing, Whataburgers here. I mean, we have everybody here, and they're all members of the chamber. And so that's just the benefit of trying to get the workforce here to work for our members.
And for people who are watching this, they don't have to worry about rushing down here. You guys will be here until 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll have more, including the full report and this interview, over on our website at fox10tv.com. Chris, thanks again, as always. We are so glad to be here this year for this year's 2026 Baldwin County Career and Job Fair. We'll have more coming up later, but for now, reporting live here this morning from Daphne, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Just over 3 weeks after the U.S. military captured the former Venezuelan leader, the future of the country is still taking shape. But officials say the U.S. is prepared to intervene again if Venezuela's new leaders stray from America's goals. Fox's Rebecca Castor has the details.
Following the dramatic capture of Venezuela's illegitimate leader, Nicolas Maduro, lawmakers on Capitol Hill have been divided over whether President Trump should have ordered the raid in the first place and if he was obligated to inform Congress ahead of time. There's been several closed-door briefings, but Wednesday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio gave his first public testimony about the mission.
We had a narco-trafficking regime that openly cooperated with the FARC and the ELN and other drug trafficking organizations using their national territory.
Rubio says the U.S. is not at war with Venezuela, nor is it occupying the country. But further military action is not off the table if the interim leaders stop cooperating with the U.S.
There will be impediments and unexpected events along the way. What we have found so far is cooperation, respect, dialogue.
Speaking Tuesday, President Trump was more optimistic.
We are working beautifully with Venezuela. I will tell you, they're going to do better now than they ever did.
But acting President Delcy Rodriguez, Maduro's former second-in-command, insists she's governing without U.S. influence.
The people of Venezuela do not take orders from any external factor. The people of Venezuela have a government, and this government obeys the people.
I'm concerned that we haven't really changed the regime enough, and that America's dollars are still going to drug runners.
So far, Rodriguez has released hundreds of political prisoners and has signaled she'll allow U.S. oil companies to access Venezuela's vast reserves. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And back at home, President Trump hoping to turn the temperature down in Minneapolis. But if anything, this battle over immigration enforcement may be getting more heated. Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar confronted and sprayed by a man in the audience last night during a town hall event in Minneapolis. It's not clear what the substance was, and Omar later said she was okay. The man, identified as 55-year-old Anthony Kazmierzak, was arrested. No word yet on his motive, but Omar had just called for ICE to be abolished. President Trump in Iowa last night defending immigration enforcement in Minnesota.
We've taken out thousands of hard criminals, hardened, vicious, horrible criminals.
But many Democrats in Congress are now willing to upend this week's government funding deadline to target the Department of Homeland Security. Some are even calling for the firing or impeachment of DH Secretary Kristi Noem. Right now, there are almost 800 confirmed cases of measles in South Carolina, making this the biggest outbreak in the U.S. since the disease was declared eliminated. And it's spreading now to other areas as well. Cases in North Carolina, California, and even Washington state have all been linked to the South Carolina outbreak.
Measles is one of the most, if not the most contagious virus we know of.
Like the one in Texas last year has been linked to declining vaccination rates. And in South Carolina, some folks in the hardest hit areas still don't want to roll up their sleeves, while others say more mandates are needed. There are now at least 3 cases in Florida, as well as the spread of measles over the past year has left the U.S. at risk of losing its elimination status. Well, new today, 2 Mobile families are picking up the pieces after separate fires destroyed their homes. Here's a look at the first fire that broke out at a home on Heather Court around 1 p.m. just yesterday afternoon. And minutes later, firefighters rushed to this house fire on Hillview Drive. Mobile Fire Rescue Captain Stephen Millhouse says thankfully nobody was injured in either blaze.
It's very difficult. We're, Mobile Fire Rescue Department, we're here to serve our mission, which is to serve the citizens of Mobile, to protect their lives and their property. And we see a large uptick during the cold weather months, particularly due to whatever reasons in terms of folks trying to stay warm. Just to see the aftermath after it's happened, it's heartbreaking. So someone, no matter the job that we did, someone's home is damaged, and you never want to see that any time of the year.
Yeah, Millhouse says while these two fires might not be cold weather related, especially with these temperatures, it's very important you know how to safely warm your home. In the meantime, prosecutors say they now believe a shooting outside Murphy High School was gang-related. The shooting happened January 9th after the Blount-Murphy basketball game had been postponed due to condensation in the gym. As people were leaving, Mobile police say a car drove by firing from inside, and a Blount senior was shot and seriously injured but is expected to recover. Police eventually arrested a suspect, Jaquan Ramsey, who's charged with assault and firing a gun into an occupied building or vehicle. During Ramsey's arraignment hearing yesterday, he was ordered to have no contact with the Blount High School victim or Tyrese Moore. Moore is the second suspect charged in this case, and he's facing a misdemeanor charge for his alleged involvement in the shooting. Moore does have an arraignment scheduled for next month, while Ramsey will also be in court for his preliminary hearing on February 26th. If he makes bond, he'll have to wear an ankle monitor. It's 11:11 now, and straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, officials take an overhead look at the landslide in Italy. Plus,
as Americans dig out from the winter storm, airports are still recovering from the thousands of flight cancellations. I'm Brooke Taylor in Dallas with those details coming up.
And in our local forecast, we're looking ahead to next weekend where we have the potential for another very serious cold weather outbreak. Your parade forecast for Friday evening shows blustery conditions, with the Senior Bowl forecast for the following Saturday showing blustery conditions and wind chills in the 20s. We have a lot to talk about with this weekend forecast. The details coming up.
welcome back into Fox 10 Midday this morning. Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni tours the damage caused by a massive landslide in southwest Sicily. Meloni took a helicopter tour over the area affected by the landslide in the Sicilian town of Niscemi just this morning. There, she met with local and regional officials to assess the damage. Officials say days of heavy rains from a cyclone triggered the landslide that spanned 2.5 miles. It caused houses and cars to fall off the cliff, while some homes and structure have been left teetering on the edge. Displaced residents are being housed at a sports hall until it's deemed safe to return home. Sicily's government declared a state of emergency Monday for southern regions that suffered storm-related damage. Well, happening now, air travel is starting to return to normal slowly after snow and ice forced the cancellation of 17,000 flights over the weekend. But one airline in particular was hit the hardest. Fox News correspondent Brooke Taylor has the recap.
Days after a winter storm swept across the country, crews are still working to clear ice-covered streets and restore power to thousands of customers.
It seems to be maybe a week or two before we get electricity.
And it may take airlines more time to recover as well. More than 9,000 flights were delayed or canceled on Tuesday, according to FlightAware. Some passengers say they're being rebooked on trips that are still days away.
To delay it like 10 hours and kind of tell you're on your own until Thursday, like people that don't have places to stay, that's a little bit unacceptable.
American Airlines had the most trouble, canceling almost half of its service on Tuesday alone. Delta canceled 3% of its total flights and United just 1%. American partially blamed the cold weather at its largest hub here in Dallas, which, quote, touches a significant number of the flights we operate each day and was hit particularly hard with record-setting conditions.
The flight just kept getting postponed and postponed and postponed. And we finally just said, you know what, we're gonna get a hotel before they're all sold out.
With another winter storm threatening the East Coast this weekend, travel experts are offering this advice.
Push your flight even just 24 hours just to give yourself a buffer to ensure that you're giving the airlines even more time to be able to right the ship.
And American Airlines says they're offering flight attendants double pay today if they're willing to work extra flights. In Dallas, Brooke Taylor, Fox News.
Well, our local forecast has been very cold, but we're seeing nice conditions with blue skies out there. In fact, as we go through the day, it may not get bad this afternoon, but a nice view from Pensacola Beach there. Your afternoon forecast highs take you all the way up into the 50s now. 53 degrees in Mobile this afternoon and 53 in Pensacola. Temperature right around 50 degrees for places like Grove Hill, Monroeville, Evergreen. 51 Atmore, 52 in Bruton. So sunny skies out there today. Should not be a bad forecast. Just grab that jacket if you're heading out the door. Now tonight, temperatures go down once again. And as we start our Thursday morning, we'll be back in the freezer with freezing conditions pretty much everywhere. The only locations that we see that are above freezing are at the immediate coast. In fact, you see 35 degrees there in Destin, 32 down at the beach in Gulf Shores, 28 in Mobile. But inland, you have middle 20s, Atmore, Bruton, Evergreen, Monroeville, Grove Hill, all at 25 degrees, 25 in Calvert, 26 in Chatham. So tomorrow morning will be a cold start. It's a cool afternoon with sunny skies, a light freeze again there on Thursday morning, as we mentioned. But round two of an Arctic blast is coming this weekend. This will be another very serious Arctic blast with feels like temperatures getting down possibly into the single digits for us locally. Here's how we get there. Freezing temperatures day by day. We have so many mornings here in this outlook over the next 7 days that are below freezing. 39 is our peak temperature there for Friday. That is when we have the system that is going to be passing across our area actually working its way through. So we had a little milder in the afternoon, and the morning temperature comes up a little bit. But then the front passes through, the cold air rushes in behind the system, and it really goes down. 24 on Saturday, 19 on Sunday. Here's the kind of broader view of it. You can see that pink area. That's the Arctic air that's plunging down. It plunges all the way down to Florida, where Florida will be eventually seeing some freezing temperatures as well. When I say Florida, not our northwest Florida, I'm talking about South Florida. That could see some freezing temperatures. So that's how cold we are talking here. And then the air eventually pushes out and changes over here as a ridge builds in over the Gulf. So what does this look like as it passes? Well, the front and maybe a low pressure system that develops near or along the front, very weak. You can kind of see lower pressures here. But this system passes through with not much fanfare. It will be clouds and maybe a rain shower or two. That passes. It does become a stronger low pressure system once the system gets off to the East Coast. Low pressure system develops off the Carolinas, and it is off to the races for a big storm system. Tons of snow possible for the Carolinas, the Mid-Atlantic, and even up to the Northeast. But this on Sunday, northwesterly flow, high pressure that's off to our west. That's a cold recipe for us here on the Gulf Coast. Let's talk parade forecast for Friday. So this is after our system's passing, or as the system's passing. 46 degrees, blustery conditions, north wind at 20 miles per hour. After the front, you get that northerly, northwesterly wind that blows in. It is going to be feeling very cold, and we're going to be on our way down. Saturday morning temperatures and wind chills. This is our wind chills in the single digits for us there on Saturday morning. Then Saturday afternoon, wind chills still stay in the 20s for the Panini Senior Bowl. 37 degrees is that temperature. And then Sunday morning, air temperatures in the teens. Feels like temperatures in the single digits. Here it is on your 10-day forecast, and you can see the long range outlook does look very, very cold here with those temperatures getting into the teens this weekend.
All right, Nick, thank you. Take a look at this caught on video. Aircraft equipment falling off of a plane during takeoff in Las Vegas. Now, officials say the British Airways flight was taking off from Harry Reid International Airport on Monday night when video captured a tire falling off. We're told no one was injured, and thankfully there was no damage to the airport. Officials say the plane continued on its way to London, where it landed safely. We have a new warning for parents this morning as a baby product is being recalled. We actually have several Fox 10 safety alerts today covering everything from teething toys to coffee to contractors. Sarah Wall is taking a look at these alerts and will have what you need to know to keep you and your family safe on In Depth with Sarah Wall. Fox 10 safety alerts, you can find it right now on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. Well, coming up on Fox 10 midday, with the popularity of sleep tracking devices continuing to take off, users and sleep specialists are sharing their thoughts about the gadgets. Those details and much more after this. Welcome back into the studio this morning. With technology ingrained throughout most of our daily lives, there's a lot of helpful tools we can use to stay organized and focus on our health. Fox News' Chris DeMeo takes a closer look at some pros and cons and ways you might be able to enhance your journey to dreamland.
Technology is a big part of many of our lives, even when it comes to our rest. And as people look to improve their sleeping habits, many are turning to apps and gadgets to help monitor their Z's.
I look forward to checking that in the morning. Sometimes it matches what I think it's going to say, based on how I feel when I wake up.
According to data from Grandview Research, the sleep tracking devices market in the U.S. made about $5 billion in 2023. Its revenue is expected to double by 2030.
The sleep score right here, it'll show you the time you spent awake in REM, light, and deep sleep. So throughout the night, I woke up one time around 2 a.m. last night.
But while fans say these tools help keep sleep at the front of their minds,
seeing that my decisions directly impact, what it reads in my biometrics, I think that knowing that is a good thing for me, and I'm able to use the numbers that it gives me to make better choices.
Some medical experts say many trackers don't directly measure snoozes. Instead, sleep neurologists like Dr. Chantal Bronson say they detect things like heart rate and body movement to try and determine the effectiveness of your slumber.
It's not as accurate as coming to see a sleep doctor.
While these devices can offer a glimpse into a person's sleep status, Dr. Bronson recommends spending more time establishing better patterns before hitting the sheets, including avoiding screens and creating a personal routine to help you wind down. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Well, listen to this. New research out now suggests helping raise your grandchildren is actually good for the brain. The study by the American Psychological Association shows grandparents who play with, read to, or cook for their grandkids scored higher on memory and verbal fluency tests than those who did not. It also says looking after your grandchildren could help slow cognitive decline in older adults. Well, straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, a popular stretch of road in Fairhope is getting repaired. We'll tell you the details. Plus, Starbucks is seeing its sales go up. That story and much more in your business headlines. Nick, maybe a hot coffee from Starbucks would be great today.
Oh, that would be lovely today because it is chilly. It's perfect weather for it. But this afternoon, you might actually be able to sit outside if you had a good enough jacket. 50 degrees with light winds and sunshine. I think we'll take it. Here are your afternoon forecast highs again, topping out in the 50s today. We have a warmer day on Friday, relatively, before the bottom drops out this weekend. All the details coming up.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back into the show. Now it's time for your half-hour headlines. Music mogul Pharrell Williams is facing a new lawsuit from his longtime creative partner, Chad Hugo. In the federal lawsuit, Hugo accuses Williams of cheating him out of as much as $1 million in royalties and profits. The suit also says that money is from their collaborations in The Neptunes and Nerd. Pharrell's team says they are conducting a standard accounting review and will pay Hugo if any money is owed. And then listen to this. A British jury has convicted a man in a case that some are calling President Donald Trump's youngest son a hero. PA Media reports a 22-year-old Russian citizen has been found guilty on 2 charges. Barron Trump says he was on a video call with the victim last January and witnessed a brief moment of the altercation. In fact, a call transcript indicates he reported the incident to police. According to British media, the victim credits Trump with helping save her life. And finally, today marks 40 years since the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded, killing all 7 astronauts on board. The shuttle exploded and broke apart 73 seconds after launching off Cape Canaveral, Florida on January 28, 1986. Millions of people watched the tragedy unfold on live TV, and an investigation found the cause of the explosion to be a leak through a faulty O-ring seal in one of the solid rocket boosters. And in your business news now, more layoffs are happening in big tech. The First Lady promotes her documentary on Wall Street. Starbucks sales jump, and an iconic Happy Meal toy is back. Fox Business correspondent Lydia Hu has today's business briefs.
There are more staff cuts coming at a tech giant. Amazon is cutting around 16,000 employees. The layoffs will impact staff across Amazon, though most U.S.-based employees will have 90 days to look for a new role internally. First Lady Melania Trump ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Her new documentary, Melania, hits theaters nationwide Friday.
The audience will see me, how I manage my business, my philanthropy, family. Here we go again.
Amazon paid $40 million for the dock and another $35 million to open it in 27 countries. Starbucks reporting a mixed quarter. Earnings were disappointing, but its traffic rose for the first time in 2 years. Sales were up 6% from a year ago. The chain says its customers are returning, though it is dealing with higher prices and tariffs, which cut into its earnings. And McDonald's is bringing back its iconic Changeables Happy Meal toys for the first time in decades. The Changeables are transforming characters that can go from a McDonald's food item into a robot or even a dinosaur-like character. The toys were first introduced by the chain in the late 80s and will include 16 characters, each with their own personality for customers to collect. Lydia Hu, Fox Business.
Back in our local headlines now, 2 projects in Mobile are getting a boost. The planned Brookley by the Bay Waterfront Park and Cooper Riverside Park along Mobile Bay. The Mobile City Council formally accepting grant money for both projects this week. The vote paves the way for over $3 million in Go Mesa funding for Brookley by the Bay, and the grant will be used for a 1-mile access road from Broad Street and a bike and pedestrian path that will run along the old Bayfront Road to the park. The second vote was to accept $4 million of Go Mesa funds for Cooper Riverside Park. Work is nearing completion to replace the bulkhead separating the park from the Mobile River. A renovation of the park itself should be done by springtime, and the Go Mesa funding will pay to extend a walkway that eventually will run from the National Maritime Museum of the Gulf to a planned private mixed-use development known as Mobile Riverwalk. Jennifer Green, Mobile's Director of Programs and Project Management, says construction should begin in about a year on both the access road and the elevated boardwalk along the Mobile River.
We'll be doing it all together. That's what my department does, complex projects. It's a long-term project with design and then finding the money and putting it out to bid for construction. So this is just another one of those projects, and I know we're going to do it.
City leaders also envision picnic areas, children's play areas, a beach along Mobile Bay, and even a boat launch for the bay. They say development will occur as funding becomes available. Meanwhile, Fairhope is making another push for federal dollars to fix the Fly Creek culvert at Highway 98. The culvert partially collapsed during heavy flooding back in August of 2022. AlDOT shutting down a southbound lane and made temporary repairs. But nearly 35,000 cars travel over this spot every single day, making a permanent fix a priority.
That culvert needs to be replaced 100%. And AlDOT is out there inspecting it routinely to make sure that it is safe for people to travel.
And the city will apply next month for a $20 million federal build grant. Fairhope tried last year, but the grant guidelines changed at the last minute. This time, those new rules could work in the city's favor, and they'll know by October if they got it. If approved, work could start in 2027.
You're taking now a live look at Fairhope. This is the Fairhope Pier where we have blue skies and pretty calm waters out there. The wind's not super strong at this moment. In fact, the lighter winds have really helped us out, making it feel not as cold out there. Good news for us if you plan on being outside today. Your out the door forecast into the afternoon shows temperatures getting up into the 50s with those light winds and mainly sunny skies. Then this evening we go quickly back into the 40s, 30s, and then eventually 20s, 28 degrees in Mobile, 30 in Pensacola though, 25 in Atmore and Bruton, 25 in Evergreen, Monroeville, and Grove Hill, 25 in Chatham. So cold numbers again tonight. Do what you need to do to protect from a freeze like this with temperatures in the middle 20s. I'll mention that tomorrow morning temperatures will go up pretty decently fast in the morning, getting us up to the 40s, even though the afternoon temperature will again only be in the 50s for tomorrow. Now, our weather headlines show cool afternoon this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon as well, with a light freeze again tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, for the entire area pretty much. Very similar temperatures tomorrow morning, what we're seeing this morning. Then another round of very, very cold air comes in for the Gulf Coast. This round 2 of the Arctic blast happens this weekend. Next 7 days show your temperatures dropping into 24 for our morning temperature on Saturday morning, with a feels like temperature that could be down in the single digits for some locations. And then Sunday, 19 with again some feels like temperatures in the single digits for portions of our area. Temperatures moderate by the middle of next week. A big bundle of cold air coming down from the Great Lakes region from Canada pushes all the way down to the Gulf Coast. In fact, even places like South Florida will be dealing with some freezing temperatures. As the system passes, it does bring a very, very small rain chance. And this is the low pressure system and cold front that will pass through that will bring the cold air. You see the northwesterly wind behind this. So this is Friday at 9 a.m., the slightest chance of a rain shower. But then all that passes through and we get cold air that comes in here. Then off the east coast, off the coast of Carolina, snow, you see there? That is a big low pressure system that develops. So low pressure system, high pressure system, in between strong winds, snowy conditions, maybe for the far, far outer banks there. And as you get off to the northeast and New England. For us locally, this is Sunday at 7 p.m. High pressure is just off to our west, northwesterly flow aloft, northwesterly flow at the surface, I should say, and that means cold conditions. So this whole period starting Friday evening is cold. We'll start with a Conde Cavaliers forecast for the first parade in Mobile of the Mardi Gras season this year. 46 degrees, blustery conditions. Feels like temperatures will be going down quickly. A north wind at 20 miles per hour with likely higher gusts. Then on Saturday morning, single digits for our inland spots, feeling like 12 degrees in Mobile. That is how cold it is for Saturday morning, how cold it feels for Saturday morning. You need to be prepared for that. Then the Panini Senior Bowl happens Saturday afternoon. It's still going to feel cold. We're going to have feels like temperatures in the 20s for the game, despite the fact that the game's at 1:30 in the afternoon and under mostly sunny skies. So winds 20 miles per hour, gusting even higher. Not feeling the best, so make sure you bundle up if you want to be out at that game. Then we go to Sunday morning, where temperatures go into the teens for the actual morning lows. That's the air temperature, then you factor in the wind chill. Single digits in Mobile, 8 degrees in Mobile, 9 Molino, 9 Atmore, Bruton, some very, very cold stuff. You see it here in our 7-day outlook. I'll go ahead and give you a heads up here. This is your storm tracker alert for the weekend. You might actually see a storm tracker alert day for this weekend as well, just based on how cold it is going to be. This is kind of high impact cold, especially with the events that we have going on. Then next week, temperatures do moderate. You have a temperature Tuesday afternoon close to 60 degrees, so some good news there if you want the milder weather, but be prepared for extreme cold this weekend.
Thank you, Nick. Tomorrow, we are excited to take you on an exclusive tour of Mobile's brand new airport downtown. On top of lower fares, we're told the goal of moving the airport from West Mobile is to have more direct flights and airline options. For years now, some travelers have chosen other airports for better flight deals. The chairman of the Mobile Airport Authority Board says they're ready to compete.
We have done a very deep dive on costs, and we feel like when we open this airport, we're going to be very lean and mean.
We explore the future of flying in Mobile and what it means for you and your family. Plus, we also find out the airline they're trying to bring right here. Final Approach airs tomorrow night at 9. You won't want to miss it. Meanwhile, tales have a way of growing over time, and we're pulling back the curtain on a long-standing Mardi Gras tradition. The Dragon Parade is one of Mobile's most popular Mardi Gras events. In the newest episode of Unwritten Legends of the Gulf Coast, how the Mystics of Time's Dragon Parade has evolved over the decades.
We found Herb Jenke and Royal Artist in New Orleans, and we brought them over. And the big transition in the shapes, and you can see behind me, this the first one in 1948 kind of looked like a big worm, but now you've got this head and the shapes and the 3D, and they changed us over to canvas and easy to repair, easy to shape. Heads and all can be built here, or they can be built in New Orleans and brought over. So there's a lot more artwork that goes into this.
Yeah, these stories are always so intriguing, and the full Dragon Parade episode of Unwritten Legends of the Gulf Coast is available completely for free on the Fox 10 Gulf stream. Just download the app on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple, or Android TV. Still to come here on Fox 10 Midday, how much of a ketchup fan are you? Heinz's new bottle might put your fandom to the test. Plus, today we test out Tippy Type. It claims to help you type better, especially if you have longer nails. We're putting it to the test in this week's Does It Work when Fox 10 Midday returns. Listen, I relate to this right here. Typing and long nails don't really work well together.
But what if there were something that you could add to your keyboard that would help from making spelling mistakes?
I like the sound of that. Rachel Hackbarth tests out the Tippy Type in this week's Does It Work?
Tammy Overby loves to get her nails done, and while they're not super long, they're long enough to cause some issues behind the keyboard.
I can function.
Oh, you can function, but do you ever run into a couple of issues when you're typing?
Absolutely.
I know I do. For $34.99, the Tippy Type promises less typos and more manicures. It's not an entirely new keyboard, just a silicone addition you place on top of the keyboard you already have.
What does this look like to you?
I'm hopeful. Silicone. Let's see what the directions tell us to do.
Is this what you were expecting? Because
No.
This was not what I was expecting.
No.
I thought it was going to be an actual keyboard.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more like a keyboard.
We find the instructions using this QR code.
Okay, so what is she doing there? Is she just putting that on top of the keyboard? Okay, yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. Her nails are not like too much longer than yours, so.
And she's just typing on the top of it.
So that's what we're doing too.
And so are you just having to line it up as best you can?
I think that's what we're going to have to do. I guess maybe that's as close as we're going to get with that.
Tammy starts typing.
Okay, delete works. That's good. That's not...
What word was that supposed to be?
Tammy.
Tammy? Doesn't look like Tammy.
It's not Tammy.
She's starting to get the hang of the Tippy Type.
I'm going to give it a shot. Well, if I could type. I think it works much better with a laptop keyboard than a wired keyboard.
But as for buying one herself, she says her nails would have to be a lot longer for her to buy this almost $40 gadget.
So do you think it's a total dud, or do you think it could work in some circumstances?
I think it could work in some circumstances, just not mine.
For Does It Work, I'm Rachel Hackbarth.
That's an idea. I don't know if I would personally use that.
So the keyboard I have at home is like one of those like fancy clicky keyboards.
Of course it is.
So like the way you hit the keys, like even if you
Yeah.
had nails, like you could probably make it work because the keys themselves are, it's almost like typewriter keys.
Right. It's so tall on there. I just feel like you would really have to get used to it.
Yeah, and it slides around. It's just, that's.
I keep my nails long, but not that long.
Yeah,
For a good
but
reason.
I don't.
So good. That's a good thing. Well, listen to this. One beloved condiment brand is helping football fans gear up for the Super Bowl with a full keg of ketchup.
Keg, yes,
Yeah.
keg. Heinz is offering what it calls the Keg-chup.
A beer-style keg is filled with 114 ounces of the brand's ketchup.
That's a lot of ketchup. It comes with a spigot attached to make it look like you're pouring a pint.
Yeah, Heinz says 84% of fans report making at-home snacks like fries and wings, increasing the demand for ketchup, of course.
Fans can get a chance to win the Keg-chup through Heinz's Instagram account from now until Thursday, January 29th. Interesting, like it's almost like, you know, in McDonald's,
Yeah.
the pump thing. It's almost like you have that. Oh, you can also go to sign up by Heinz
ketchup.com.
That's Ketchup.
I love this. Listen, I love some ketchup. If I haven't talked about it on the show, my favorite dish, black eyed peas and cornbread. Drizzle the ketchup on top. Great New Year's Day meal. I've been wanting to make it for Tasty Tuesday.
I like a little ketchup. Okay, if I'm doing ketchup, great. If I'm doing ketchup with a little hot sauce put in there, mix it up, brilliance. Amazing.
Oh. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, thanks for catching up with us today on Fox 10 Midday. We'll be right back in just a moment. Nick, we're taking a live look outside.
Daphne, right now, you see the Bayway flowing okay at this moment. Of course, we'll keep you updated if anything happens out there, but the temperatures are cool and get very cold this weekend. Have a look at your forecast after this.
Welcome back. Now, this is a story. A 2-year-old with a very special set of skills is already a world record holder 2 times over, all thanks to some unforgettable tabletop trick shots. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch a very talented toddler make world records history twice by sinking 2 very difficult trick shots at the tender age of just 2 years old. Jude Owens from Manchester, England has been confirmed as a double Guinness World Record holder in the table sport of snooker, similar to pool, after becoming the youngest person ever to pot 2 balls in 2 different pockets with 1 cue ball strike, and becoming the youngest to pull off a bank shot using the rails to sink another ball. Jude's dad says he's shown an amazing aptitude for the game since the first time he picked up a stick, and Guinness says the pint-sized snooker shark is not only the youngest known person to secure a snooker sponsorship, he also made a special walkout appearance at the 2025 UK Snooker Championship. Speaking of getting on the stick and right on cue, pilots in a NASA research plane were forced to execute an emergency belly landing after the aircraft's landing gear failed to deploy. The video was captured at a Houston, Texas airport where the agency said a mechanical issue caused this WB-57 plane to come in with its landing gear up, sparking a fiery belly landing, with the plane eventually skidding to a rest on the runway. Responders rushed to the scene, and the agency said the crew, quote, are safe at this time. WB-57s have been flying scientific and atmospheric research missions for NASA since the 1970s. According to the agency, they can fly at altitudes higher than 63,000 feet. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Yeah, so glad everyone was okay there. I feel like we've had a lot of flight incidents in the past year.
That was something that did get brought up last year. Let's talk forecast real quick. Very cold this morning. Temperatures are getting up there, though. It's now 48 degrees in Gulf Shores, 49 in Pensacola, and we've made it to 50 degrees in Milton, 46 in Mobile, 46 in Grove Hill. So that's right now. If you're stepping out the door, you're going to see temperatures that go up into the 50s this afternoon. In fact, some folks could get all the way up into the middle 50s. It should not feel that bad out there with the sunshine and light winds that we have. Now, the next few afternoons, Friday afternoon, we get up to 59 degrees. So that's really not bad at all. But then 37 degrees on Saturday. That is the afternoon high. So that's how cold we are talking about here. In fact, the wind chills on Saturday are going to be in the 20s for a majority of the day. Here's that weekend forecast, and I have the morning lows put on there as well. So 24 on Saturday morning with feels like temperatures possibly all the way down into the single digits, then 37 on Friday or Saturday afternoon. Then on Sunday morning, 19 with single digit feels like temperatures. So that weekend forecast update is going to be important. So follow us on social media for more details there, because that is a serious.
Yeah, we have the Senior Bowl, Mardi Gras Parade, so definitely be aware of that. Start planning your warm clothing right now. We want to thank you for spending time with us on Fox 10 Midday today. Fox 10 Live is at 3. We will see you then.